We did something pretty wild. We did something pretty wild in our last game. We didn't have the outcome that that we were hoping for to end our season. Um, but we did something pretty wild. I have been playing baseball for my entire life. I have been coaching for quite some time now, and I have never, in all my years of baseball, been a part of a triple play. And we did that tonight in our final game. Yeah, we lost, but we were supposed to lose. That's what the local sports writers are saying. That's what the kids on Instagram are saying. And, that's what the other coaches are saying. Independence is a young team. They're basically a JV team playing varsity. And we were supposed to lose. And I can tell you that when I was leaving, one of the guys from James Licks walks by me, and that's who we played. They're the first place team going to CCS. He looks at me and he says, "You got it now. Run it." And I said, "I hear you." And what he meant by that was they're losing 9 of their players because their seniors graduating. And he basically was giving us props saying that we're young, but we got fight. We got fire in us and we have potential. And if we handle business, we should be able to run this division. And I was flattered by that. And I appreciated that. And I wish all the kids could have heard that. But we turned a triple play today. Bases loaded. My son's behind the plate. And got our senior CJ pitching. He gets a comebacker, fields it, throws it to Jordan at home. Jordan touches the plate, throws to first, gets the runner at first, and the coach at third sends the other guy home to try and score. First baseman turns around, sees it, guns the ball to Jordan at home. Jordan swipe tags him, and bang, bang, bang. I've never seen something like that live, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. And if I take anything away from this final game, it's that play symbolized what we were as a team. The possibilities, the capabilities that we have when we play our game. I'm jumping ahead and I need to go back because I need to catch you guys up. And I know the last podcast I talked about us being I think we were on a 3-game win streak when we talked. When we talked last. And so last Friday we ended up winning our 4th game in a row, and it was a blowout. And it was kind of strange because they tried to cancel the game because the school had a plumbing problem. They had to shut off all the water at the school. So the school officials tried to come down to the baseball field and said, "Hey, there's no water available here, so we're going to have to postpone this game." And immediately I was like, "No, no, no, let's not do that. Everybody here, we got a huge Gatorade bottle full of water. There's a Costco down the street. We can go get some waters. Like, we got to get this game in. The season's over next week. We got to get this game in. I don't want to, push this thing along. Thank God the umpires were on our side, and the umpires were like, no, 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 no. Let me talk to the coaches, talk to the parents. If we're all good, we're going to play this game. And the officials are like, are you sure? Because we're supposed to. The umpire said, if I can get everybody to agree that we're on the same page, we're going to get this game in. We're all here. So, umpire spoke to everybody, coaches did, and we ended up getting it in. We ended up finishing the game. We started the game, and then we got to finish it. And another game where the kids looked great. Very proud of the way they played that day. And again, it was a glimpse of what this team can be moving forward. Bunch of great plays. Um, we had our first home runs, like legit home runs in this game. We had two of them. Jordan had two doubles. Our defense was on point. Our pitching was on point. Everything. We looked like a baseball team. That was one of the games where we looked like we belonged in varsity, even though we weren't. Um, I will still say that we are a JV team playing varsity. We looked good. And it was another game where I left the field saying, that's exactly who we are. We are this team that played today. And I don't know if I shared this with you, but before one of the games at our home field, um, one of the kids came up to me with his mom, and his mom said, he wanted to buy this for you. We were at the store, and he said, I got to get this for Coach Ray. And so he gives me this, and I'll show you in a minute. If you're watching, this is the cover art for this episode. By the way, this is episode 158 of the Perfect Mess podcast. Anyways, the kid walks up and says, I got this for you because I was at the store and I told my mom, we got to get this for Coach Ray. And he gives this to me right before a game. And this is what it is. Let's see if I can hold it right there. There it is. It's if you're not watching on YouTube, hold on. Let me try to get this. If you're not watching on YouTube, it is a trophy that has a golden goat as the main part of the trophy, and the mantle says the goat. I've been given a lot of things in my life, but this is definitely a first. And I said, why did you get this for me? And he says, because you're the GOAT coach. And because I never believed in myself that I could play this game. And you gave me confidence. And we all love you here. Like, we just think you're the best coach. And this might be one of the most special things I've ever received. I I started reflecting on this season coaching here at the school that I used to go to and play at. And, you know, not to skim past our last two games. We lost our last two games, but we played the first place team. And they did what they were supposed to do. My kids gave it a good shot. They fought, and we just didn't have enough talent on our team to compete with them. Um, mainly because we're just young and inexperienced. There's a lot of things that I couldn't do this year, coaching wise, that were very frustrating at times. Not just for me, but for the kids who actually knew how to play baseball, who had experience under their belt, years of experience. There was just things I couldn't do because I needed to make sure that I was also doing things at the request of other guys that were on the coaching staff. And it was a tug of war, and it was hard. And what made it even harder was I'm a very strategic person when it comes to baseball. And when you're not able to do your strategy because someone is telling you, can you please this? Can you please that? Can you make sure that this happens? Can you make sure? And you're having to go against every fiber of your being, knowing that that is not the move that you would make, but you're having to do it because you are trying to think bigger picture. And what I mean by that is you're trying to think of the coming year. And that's what this is all about. There are a lot of things that I had to bite my tongue about. There are a lot of things that I had to leave practice and leave games very frustrated, very upset because I had to play the game. And unfortunately, there are no guarantees that even if I played the game, that I would be back this coming year. I still don't know. And that's hard because we have kids on this team that want to play for me, but are already talking about transferring schools because they don't want to come back if I'm not there. And because I don't have that answer yet, it looks like their parents are already making decisions to make them, or not to make them, but to move them to different high schools. And that sucks. It's hard enough because COVID fucked up a lot of shit for these kids. We had a couple of kids that lost 2 years of the sport because we didn't have a team at this school, and they tried last year and they couldn't get it together, and then they almost canceled this year. They tried to cancel it 3 different times. So we had a couple of seniors. We had 4 seniors, two of which I got really close with, and I told them both, I wish I had one more year with you guys. I wish I had one more year with you guys to really see what we could do with this team. I get emotional because, they're graduating this year and life begins. Um, you leave high school and some of these kids go to college, some of them go to trade school. Um, and when you do that, it's like you're trying hard to hold on to your dreams because life gets really hard, you know. Uh, Sometimes you just got to jump into work because you got responsibilities, and you put your dreams on the back burner because you're young and you're like, I'll get back to it. I'm gonna put it on the back burner for right now, and I'll get back to it. And then you don't realize that 5, 10 years go by, and you never got back to your dreams. I told one of my seniors, CJ, I said, I know you said you're not going to probably play baseball anymore. You're going to go to JC, JUCO, and you're going to play football. And I said, and I remember you telling me that you're better at football than you are with baseball. And I got to tell you, kid, I got to go watch you play football because if you're better at football than you are at baseball, you got to be something else because you're one hell of a baseball player. I said, but I wish you would rethink going out for the baseball team wherever you go to JUCO because I believe you have talent and I believe that you can play another 4 more years and then see where the chips fall. Why not, right? Said I hope you think about that. Regardless, I'd like to come see you play football, but I'd love to come see you play baseball as well. Excuse me. So Dre, another senior that I just appreciated him so much coming out and working hard and giving us a chance to compete. Dre didn't play much baseball in his life, but he played enough to where he looked like a legit baseball player. And he pitched, he played third base, and he hit the hell out of the ball. And I just told him I was so proud of him, and I just appreciate him allowing me to be a part of his journey. My other two seniors, Juan and Vincent, just thankful that I was able to be a part of their journey. Both of them had never played baseball. Juan's this big 6'4" guy, and he got accepted into Cal and on academics. And I just told him, I said, go to Cal and be great, man. That's you got so much to be proud of. And I told Vincent, you know, I said, I heard where you're going, or the possibility of where you're going to college. And I said, you ought to be proud of yourself. That's amazing. I said, by the way, what a way to go out on your last game, right? He got on base and he scored um, and gave us a chance today. I always talk to these kids about making the most of their opportunities. And it was awesome to see that he did that today in his final game. It's beautiful. This year um, was a roller coaster, but because I had quite a few people in my corner, it was a roller coaster that I was able to manage. To the few people that are in my circle that told me, Ray, play the game, bite your tongue, stay in there, don't give up. You're doing it for these kids. These kids love you. You're making a difference. Don't do anything that's going to damage your opportunity to possibly come back. If you need to vent, vent to me. But don't do anything that's going to get you disqualified from possibly coming back. And I did, man. I there were days that I needed to grab a drink and I needed to call somebody or I needed to go sit down with somebody. I needed to go home and vent on the phone because it was hard. It was my team, but it still wasn't 100% my team. I had to bend and fold and do everything but break to make sure I made other people happy. And everything in me told me this is not the way a varsity high school baseball team should be ran. And I had to go against everything that was in me to make sure that I tried to please everybody. In turn, I had to explain to kids that I know that the outcome in a lot of these games could have been different, but my hands were tied and I had to make certain moves to make sure that certain people were happy. I had to talk to certain parents and tell them I'm sorry that this didn't happen or that happened, but my hands are tied. I've had to show people emails. I've had to show them text messages. I promise you, I'm not lying to you that I had to do certain things. And this is what I'm being asked to do. And I don't have a choice. I'm not used to doing stuff like that. I'm not used to being told what to do. I'm not used to being asked to do certain things that go against everything that I believe in. This is an entirely different part of the game to me. And I'm having to learn, I'm having to adjust, I'm having to bite my tongue. And in a sense, I'm having to tuck my tail, which goes against everything that I stand for. By now, you guys listening to this podcast know that. I had coaches coming up to me all year telling me this high school would be crazy not to hire you as the coach here full time because what you've done with this team since we first saw them is nothing short of amazing. These kids know how to play baseball now. I had a coach tonight tell me, so what's going on? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it almost looks like it's you against us three. I mean, I go, oh, me, the coach, and coaching against you three. I go, yeah, it kind of is. You know, with all due respect to other people, I just have the most experience here. And for the majority of the year, um, I've been literally playing chess against three and four other coaches on the other side of the field. And that is not easy. And the coach said, why don't you bring someone else in? Why don't you have, you're a baseball guy, you know, I go, yeah, I can't. I don't have pull like that. Not right now. I can't just go and say, hey, I got two guys I need to bring in, a pitching coach and a defensive coach or, whatever. I can't do it. I don't have that pull. So I kind of got to play the game right now. And he goes, that's a shame, man. He goes, hey, for what it's worth, you're doing a hell of a job, man. Doing a hell of a job. I said, I appreciate it. I for as many things that frustrated me this year, coaching, I I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful for all these kids embracing me and taking me in and accepting me as their coach. I'm thankful for them fighting for me. I I'm so thankful that they felt I was important enough and that I made enough impact for them to go up into their teacher's class on lunch and to say, "Hey, we're not playing unless you bring our coach back." I still can't believe that that happened. And when I asked my son if that happened, he said, "Yeah, I didn't wasn't sure what to tell you." But yeah, we were rallied up by one of our teammates and told to go over there. Said, "Hey, we're not playing baseball no more. We're gonna walk unless you bring our coach back." And this was after I believe the second or third game of the year. Pretty wild, man. Yeah, I went to the gym today. I usually go to the gym before games. I My adrenaline gets crazy because I'm so competitive. So I try to go to the gym to kind of even my thing out, to work out and get some tension out. And while I was in the gym today, uh, my partner John Tay, he calls me, and I'm talking to him in between sets, and he says, "What's up, Mr. Inspirational?" I said, "What?" He says, "I just want you to know that I'm just sitting back, watching your Instagram stories, and I just want to tell you that you inspire me." I said, "Come on, man." He said, "Nah, I mean that. I go to your Instagram and I get inspired." He goes, "And I want to tell you something. Those kids you're coaching, I can see it, that you inspire them too, and that you're changing their lives. I was watching a video of you when you're doing your Victory 50 push-ups." He goes, "That's cool, by the way. But I was watching a video and I was listening to those kids chanting as you're doing push-ups." He goes, and then I went back and I watched it again, and this time I watched their faces. He said, and they all had these big smiles on their face. He goes, and I noticed the look that they had. And he goes, "I don't know if you realize how much these kids love you. And I haven't even been to one of your games, and I can tell these kids love you and you're changing their lives and that you inspire all of them." And I said, "Thank you, man. That means a lot to me." He goes, "Nah." He goes, "Sometimes we need to hear that." He goes, "And I just wanted to call and tell you that, man, like, you inspire a lot of us, myself included." Said, I go, "That means a lot to me, man. I appreciate you." And we just started talking about life and stuff he's been going through. And he's got a couple of daughters and trying to reconnect with his son. Son's young, in his 20s, mid 20s. And he's trying to get his son back in the gym and whatnot. Excuse me. He's like, "I don't know, man. When they're in their mid 20s, you can't force them to do anything." I said, "Why don't you try this?" I said, "Go for a walk with them. If you can't get them to go out there and run, hit the treadmill, or work out." He goes, "Yeah, I can't force them." I go, "No, don't force them. When you get home, he still lives with you, right?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Some of the best things that I've ever done with my sons is we just go for a walk and we talk. We talk about life." I said, "When you go home, just go, hey, put your shoes on real quick. What's up, Dad?" Hey, let's go for a walk. I ain't trying to walk. I said, no, no. Listen, no, I want to talk to you. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. But why don't we just go for a walk and we can talk? I want to talk to you about a few things. We ain't got to do nothing crazy. We can just walk. I go, I bet you he says, okay. I go, and what you're not going to realize is this, or what you're going to realize is this. That walk turns into more than just exercise. It turns into a bonding with your son to where you have these talks and he tells you about what's going on in his life, the things that he's been going through, the things that he thinks about, the things that he's worried about, the things that he wants to do. And then he starts asking you questions. What's going on with you, Dad? What's going on with work? How are you and Mom? Everything good? All of that stems from just simply going on a walk with your son. He's like, you know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that. That's good advice. I said, I bet you he says yes. I bet you he goes with you. He's like, yeah, that's a good approach. I'm going to have to take you up on that. I said, yeah, when it happens, let me know. I had I had a lot of older friends that I went to high school with that showed up at this game tonight, and it was so good to see them, man. All of you guys that showed up, fuck, man, I'm so thankful. Thanks for coming up, yelling my name, saying, "What's up, bro?" And I just meant a lot. Thank you guys. So now, our season's done. There's a league meeting, so we're gonna talk about, I guess, awards and whatnot. So this is all new to me. So I got to go figure out how that works and go to this meeting next week. And then the goal is to try to get an answer on this job before the school year ends, so we're not back in the same situation. So as of right now, it's up in the air whether I'll be back. Um, I'm hearing that a letter is being drawn up by the parents and the kids. I'm hearing that a bunch of papers were signed. I heard all this today leaving the game. So I don't know. I know the parents are apparently trying to put something together to bring me back. Um, so I don't know. At the very least, if I never coach here again, and this is my last year, I'm thankful. Just thankful. I'm thank. All I could ask for is an opportunity, a chance, and I got it. And I think we did some great things. I appreciate everybody on the parent side who believed in me, who trusted me coaching their kids. I appreciate every kid that played for me. You guys are always going to have a special place in my heart because you were the very first team that I coached during during high school. And it was a great experience. And I hope to have it again. But if I don't, I'm just thankful for the opportunity. And I hope you guys know that you helped me fulfill a dream. And that was to come back and coach my high school baseball team. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I appreciate you. And just know that when I tell you guys I love you guys, I mean that from my bottom of my heart. I mean every bit of that. So what's up next? Travel ball. off to coach travel baseball, and it looks like some of the kids that played for me at Independence are going to be coming and playing travel ball with me as well. So hopefully we can build on that and do something great. It don't stop. It just does not stop, and I wouldn't change it for the world because someday these days are going to be long gone, and I'm going to miss the hell out of them. So right now, I'm going to enjoy everything. Not going to complain. I'm going to be in the moment. That's all I got, guys. I love you guys, man. All of you. Everybody listening, watching, my longtime supporters here on The Perfect Mess, my new supporters, subscribers. Thank you. Um, this whole podcast is just about my life. I'm nothing special, man. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dad uh, who who has turned his life around, who has found a better way to live life. And I just enjoy sharing that with you guys. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 158. I believe I said 158. Yeah, 158. Uh, like I always say, my website is raymolina.com. The Instagram is The Perfect Mess Pod, or it's Ray Molina. That is also the TikTok. YouTube is youtube.com/The Perfect Mess Pod. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell there. Uh, if you'd like to donate, not necessary, you can. I have a Cash App. It's $ It's Ray Molina, and the Venmo is at It's Ray Molina. I'm on Rumble, Snapchat, Threads, X, Facebook, Clubhouse, you name it. I'm on all of it. Just search for me. You'll find me. All right. Uh, all right. Here. Thank you. Thank you for this. Taylor, if you're out there, thank you, buddy. All right. I love you guys, man. Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it is a mess, but for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.